Going to the SEAL training days, how is it that you could have had the opportunity to be a disabled veteran and everything that comes with that, the benefits, the money, and you instead decide to go into SEAL training?
Well, I started off injured in my first class, and I had gotten so banged up that, after finishing Hell Week with stress fractures going in, that I was supposed to let my legs heal. And because they didn't let my legs heal, when I went to Okinawa, I got off the boat and I went into medical and I asked them to look at my legs. I ran for like 2 miles and just destroyed them even more, just because I was just so sick of the military. I just wanted to get out. And they gave me what I wanted. They were going to get me out because my legs were just and they'd been broken for 8 months or whatever.
But you hated the military that bad that you would destroy your legs to get out?
I was so pissed. I had done everything that I was supposed to do. I made it through Hell Week with broken legs. I felt like I just got so railroaded. And not like really in the SEAL training program, because I went in there and I was unprepared and I was for sure not I shouldn't have. I was going to graduate because I just never was going to quit, and I was just going to finish the program. But I at the time wasn't mature enough, and I wouldn't have made a good SEAL. And so I don't blame them for getting me out of there. My issue was really in the way the ship handled it and taking me out to sea when my legs were clearly not healed and I was supposed to be on limited duty, and so they were going to kick me out. But they took them so long to process it that my legs had healed. And so at that point, I just, put in a request to go back, and everybody thought that I was so crazy. I remember going in and my commanding officer was like, Bilzerian, he goes, you're supposed to be medically discharged from the military here soon, and you want me to approve a request for you to go into SEAL training. And I said, yes, sir. And he goes, you know how stupid that is. He goes, you realize that we are going to be paying you disability and we're saying that you're disabled, and you want me to approve a request for you to go to the hardest military training in the world. He goes, are you stupid? He goes, do we need to give you a psych discharge as well? He goes, what's the matter with you? And it was just funny, at the time, I'm just standing there this is, my commanding officer. I'm so brainwashed, and I didn't even see the humor in it. I was just like, oh, no, sir. I'd really like the opportunity, sir. And, he's just, having at it. Anyway, so I ended up going back. And yeah, I was 2 days before graduation, got rolled all the way back to the beginning, did the whole thing again, and then got kicked out. That actually, to me, is one of the things that does irritate me, is when people think that I didn't serve 4 years. Because I was in the military for 4 years. I served 4 years. I did 510 days of SEAL training. I finished the whole program twice. I went through Hell Week twice. I did all that stuff. And while I wasn't a Navy SEAL, and I'm not expecting people to call me a Navy SEAL, it's just when people say that I didn't serve in the military, or that I quit in SEAL training, or you know what I mean, any of that stuff, that actually does piss me off, because I was 2 days before graduation. I did the whole thing, and I did the whole thing 2 times. Well, a little more than 2 times. So
how do you go through it a second time? And you're talking about you went through Hell Week twice.
Yeah, I finished 2 Hell Weeks, and I was actually in 3 different classes. So the first time I made it, it was 3 or 4 weeks after Hell Week, and then I got rolled back. Second time I went, all the way through the entire course, 2 days for graduation, then got rolled back all the way to the beginning of dive phase, which is basically, I did 4 months of the training again. And then at the end, then they just admin dropped me.
Explain what Hell Week entailed.
Yeah, it's 5.5 days and no sleep, and you're running, I think it's a total of 144 miles, telephone poles and boats, and it's pretty grueling training. I got hypothermia a lot. It was tough. You're wet and sandy the whole time, so you're chafing, your nipples are bleeding, my toenails popped off from the feet being so swollen. It's no joke, you got to really want it, bad.
Of those 2 Hell Weeks you went through, is there a moment or two that most sticks out to you?
Yeah, I think Steel Pier was probably one. That's where it's 3 in the morning. It's probably 40 degrees outside, and they strip you down to your underwear or naked. I forget what it was, underwear and naked or something, but you're on a steel pier, and they spray you down the water, and they get hurricane fans that are blowing on you, and it's miserable. It's really cold.
And what, looking back, you don't think you graduated? Why?
Well, so the second time I went through, I'd already done it, and I was kind of like going through cocky, and I just figured if I don't quit and I pass all my stuff, like they can't kick me out. But I didn't think they could like just drop you, you know? My OIC, the officer in charge of my class, I didn't really have a lot of respect for him. We kind of like butted heads, and so I probably like wasn't like the best team player in that class, and you know they gave me bad evals, and probably picked up on that, and you know, so it makes sense. When I got kicked out, I was so over the whole thing that, like, to me, in my mind, it's like, okay, I've like checked this box. Like I did SEAL training. Like I finished this, you know. So to me, it was like, okay, I'd climbed Mount Everest, you know. Like I'd done what I came to do. So I didn't really care too much at the end.